In this video, I will show you how to get approved for business credit to buy cheap economy cars. This is my expertise. This is what I do. I help car rental business owners start and scale their business through funding. So let's get right into it. Well, some of the things we're going to talk about is obviously setting up your personal credit profile. We're going to talk about setting up your LLC, and then we're going to get into the application process. So watch this video to the end so that you know exactly what to do. All right. So without further ado, setting up your personal credit. Now, when it comes to setting up your personal credit, it's important to understand the data points that the banks look at. So, one of the things that I tell my clients is that put yourself in position of the banks. If you're a bank and somebody comes to you, what do you want to see? Well, the first thing you want to see is they have a good payment history, that they have a track record of paying on time consistently for an extended period of time. And when it comes to the personal credit, the banks want to see 2 years of 100% payment. That is a long enough time period to know that you pay consistently on time. So you have to keep that in mind when you're going to do these applications and when looking at your personal credit, that you want 2 years of payment history. Now, I understand that things happen. You may not have 2 years. So what do you do in that situation? Well, you need to go into credit repair. And credit repair is when you start to learn the game on how to remove negative items from your report. And removing negative items from your report is a crucial part of the funding process. You have to do it if you don't have a 100% payment history in the last 2 years. Now, obviously, there are going to be exceptions. So, where are the exceptions? Well, let's say you missed one payment, right? If you miss one payment, there you can make some banks will make an exception for that with a good reasoning. So you have to make sure that we put together a good reason for you. That way, during the application process, you can get the exception. Next, you want utilization. Now, utilization is a very important part that a lot of people skip. So you don't want to skip utilization. Why? Because if you skip utilization, when you go to the bank, they're going to see that you're not paying on your current cards. Utilization mostly affects revolving credit. So revolving credit is going to be credit cards and lines of credits in your personal name, or at least anything that's reporting on your personal credit report. So you want to ensure that your utilization is below 30%. Now, I understand things happen. So what happens if your utilization is above 30%? Well, you have a couple of options that you can go and do. The first thing you can do is you can go get an installment loan like a personal loan with cash, and pay down all your cards. That is a great option. I recommend this to my clients in the right situation. But you have to do this with speed because it does take about 15 to 30 days for each new account to report. So if the goal is to go get funding and you need to pay down your utilization, well, when you pick up those loans, do it immediately. And then you're gonna force refresh your report. That way, your utilization is paid down and you can go get access to the money. Another thing you can do is make sure you only get one, because new accounts do start to affect your ability to get new funding, because the banks look at it like you just picked up money. Why do you need more? So paying down utilization is crucial. Another technique that I use to pay down utilization is that you can use multiple cards to balance out the utilization. People don't know this, but each card only reports one day out of the month, which means that the balance on that specific day is actually what reports to your credit report, not the overall balance. So what you could do, if you're in this situation, you're going to go ahead and open up your credit profile. And if you need a credit monitoring software, I'll drop the link below. It is an affiliate link, so I do get paid if you sign up. But however, you also get credit, and it helps support the channel. So go ahead, hit the smash the likes on the video, and use my affiliate link if you want to do credit monitoring, so you can know exactly what to do on the techniques I'm about to show you. So you're going to go into your credit monitoring software. You're going to look at each account, each credit card account, and see that, okay, this credit card reports on the 26th and this reports on the 10th. So that means that on the 26th, I need to make sure this card is reporting as low as possible, even if it means taking some money on this card that reported on the 10th. Take money off this card, pay down this card. And then after the 26th, you can take the money off this card and pay off this card. What's going to happen is that both cards will report the low balances, and even though the debt is still there, the credit report doesn't reflect it. So you can get around the high utilization that way. So this is an excellent strategy that I recommend. The third thing you need is inquiries. Now, inquiries can be removed pretty easily. It's just a simple phone call to the banks. I do have an inquiry removal technique that I will drop only primarily in my Facebook group. So if you want to learn about the inquiry technique, once the Facebook group drops, make sure you join. All right, it's a free Facebook group. I'll drop a lot of free stuff in there, along with the free strategy call to help you start and scale your car rental business. Now, once you have your credit in check, you want to go ahead and set up your LLC. LLC structuring is important. So making sure you have the right business information with your address, your phone number, your email, and then listing your businesses online. It's a pretty simple process, pretty straightforward. And if you need help with this, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll guide you through your questions. All right. So what do you need? You need a virtual address that links to a commercial building. You can get this at Regus. Regus is a great place that many people get their virtual addresses. Just make sure it's linked to a commercial building. So if you put the address in Google, does it pull up a commercial building that looks like business is being done there? Very important. And then you need a business phone number, a business email, and then you need to list all your businesses online. It's a pretty straightforward process. So go ahead and structure your LLC properly. Now that you have a properly structured LLC and your credit is in check, now it's time to go do these applications. But what a lot of people don't understand is that just going into the bank and applying isn't an effective strategy. You're doing it blind. You need a proper strategy. And this is what I do, right? I set up the strategy for you. The strategy is applying per bureau. So some institutions pull from specific bureaus. So you want to make sure you have a stacked funding sequence that pulls from each bureau to maximize the amount of money you can get. And then on top of that, you want to have relationships with these banks because for some banks, right, if you're looking at banks like PNC, Wells Fargo, if you have a good relationship, you're more likely to get higher amounts of funding. You're more likely to hit the 50,000s and above once you have bank accounts there, and you have some money in that bank account for a specific period of time. And each bank is different. So if you have any questions regarding that, drop that in the comments. Now that you have the relationship set up, right, you have your LLC properly structured and your personal credit is in check, now it's time to go do the applications. Now, on the business applications, we're looking at things like credit cards. Credit cards are no docs, so they're not going to ask you for any, tax returns, any business bank statements, any profit and loss statements, anything like that. And you can use stated income, so you can use the projected income that you're expecting your business to make over the course of the next year to do these applications. So it's very important to understand that process. And then the next step of that, you have business lines of credits, and these do require docs. Most places, the business lines of credits, they're going to require at least 3 months of bank statements. Now, there are some institutions that won't require docs for business lines of credits. So places like US Bank and First Citizens, you could get away with no docs. However, you need to have an established relationships, like I said. So making sure you have these set up properly, that way you can take advantage of some of the programs that these banks have in place to fund small businesses. And with the business lines of credits, you can get anywhere from $50,000 and above per bank. Or with the business credit cards, you can get anywhere from $25,000 per card. And some institutions give you multiple cards at once. So, understanding this process is the way that you can really stack up high amounts of money. And then the lines of credits, obviously with the loans, business loans are mostly going to be full doc process. So you will need like tax returns, bank statements, in some instances, profit and loss statements. Now, the most important part about this process isn't just picking up the money. The most important part about this process is understanding how to make money with the money, right? So we're taking this amount of money, we're liquidating it into cash because cash is king and it gives you the flexibility. Now you have the cash in your bank account. You can go on places like Facebook Marketplace. You can go to Car Gurus, find economy cars in the price range I suggest to you to buy, which is under $5,000. Buy the reliable cars, the Toyotas, the Hondas, and Ford Fusions with the 2.5-liter engine in them. These are reliable cars that you can use to scale up your fleet. And if you do this the right way, you can easily pick up, 20, 30, 40 cars in a year, and be able to scale your car rental business. So thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button. It does help with the algorithm. It does help push the video, and it does help push the channel. I'll be dropping the free Facebook group once we hit 100 subscribers. So subscribe.